diversity in the way of thinking, which is changing and not too structured and flexible enough in order to do these things. And I think that startups have the capacity to do it much faster than a very big established corporate process oriented company. So
They do.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, they do. But that's interesting. See, so there's kind of conflicting that I really love getting it done fast. However, there's a Silicon Valley model we also don't know. So our American counterparts have I think came from the age of Steve Jobs and then move fast and break things.
yeah. I think it's a Mark Zuckerberg, if I'm
Yeah,
not
that one
mistaken.
is a bit
Yeah,
dangerous in our industry. Like we try and move fast but not break things, because what happens is these are safety critical systems, and one would argue, is it the right thing to do in all industries? If you're building an app that you want to maybe make a dog walking app, yes, I think there needs to be a differentiation. And at the moment, the one-line headlines are very good at just tying it all into, yeah, this is what applies. Be an entrepreneur to
yeah.
do this and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that especially if we are talking about security of these devices and how people trust them, it's so important that they feel that everything was considered while building this. Because if I go on the road and I'll do some kind of a mistake, you will say, okay, she was distracted. Okay, it makes sense that it happens. But if a machine does it, we're not that forgiving to these machines, although we're forgiving to
Yeah,
ourselves, not to
exactly.
machines,
So
right?
yeah, we give them. I like the sort of, oh, if a bus comes and a lorry comes and a person, what do you do? And I think, but you wouldn't know what to do, right? So we put some larger sort of wisdom onto the machines that to try and solve problems we can't when it comes to these things like self-driving, which is fascinating.
Yeah, it's so strange that we forgive people and we will not forgive a device, although it was built by people and there are
Yeah,
some problems you can not easily solve, right? So
exactly.
I think it's a matter of trust. When you feel that you could trust this thing, and over time you get related to it and you engage with it, only afterwards you can forgive. It's like with people, right? You forgive only the ones that you really want to forgive
Yeah,
because you trust them, right?
I think it's
So
yes, I think it's a learned habit, right? Where we built a world where we do trust them already. Because if you go anywhere, you expect, or we expect and trust that light switch. I turn it on, there's going to be electric, the light's going to go on. So I think we've kind of over years built habit that the machines around us, your microwave will always press the button, it works. You always go for Wi-Fi, it'll work. So it's I suppose this inherent trust is just being followed on and now being put as an expectation of the next level of tech, which is a bit more complex. I think that's where the breakpoint is, that we've actually built a world where our machines are quite reliable. Your water tap, water will always come out.
yeah,
Your TV up,
you're right.
it's always BBC News on. It's always going to be on.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, you're always going to find it live. So I think so. I think maybe that's where it comes from. It's an expectation based on past experience that we built.
So I'm curious to see how you see our world when we are humans relating to these technologies and robots, and how will our world could evolve to a direction that you would like to see, like, 50 years from now. Let's take it like further. How do you
So,
imagine that?
so if something really fascinating is that all tech on Earth actually kind of is a blueprint to where it is going, and this blueprint is our science fiction writings. Go back to the '60s. A lot of it was wrong, but nearly everything you see today, you've probably seen in Star Trek. I mean, the communication technology. So science fiction writers already kind of wrote a blueprint. And if you think of every sci-fi novel you've ever read or have movie you've seen, or any one of those is our potential future, pretty much,
Yeah.
because it's going that direction. Because these are
Yeah.
people who thought about it for their entire lives and wrote about it already. So just look to that. Ideally, for me, I'd love to see the utopian Star Trek society where everything is free, there's no hunger, there's no conflict, resources are just abundance, and people's freedom to choose what they want to do, just to for the human journey is just discover yourself or the meaning of life, because you don't actually have to do anything. That's the ideal future for me.
Hmm.
But where we're going, this is where I think we're going. Imagine, if you will, 200 years from now. a child wakes up, and then suddenly an object appears in his room. Oh, it's his agenda. This is how he's always maybe seen the world. And then instantly his friend teleports in. Hey John, how you doing? Oh hi, how you doing? Should we go to Sarah's? Where is she? I think she's on Mars. Oh, okay, shall we go? Another screen appears. For his friend, this is the world he's always known to. Instantly they teleport and they're in Sarah's in Mars. And then Mars, oh my gosh, let me tell you, I met this hippie last night who told me there's, no, our world, the metaverse, they're saying it's not actually real. Apparently there's a real world somewhere out there where they actually made it, our great-great-grandparents made this place called the metaverse, and this world isn't real. And they all laugh, ha, 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 that's ridiculous. So what I'm getting is I see a time where there's full integration between technology and humanity. You don't know what's technology anymore. You don't know what's real anymore, where we've had so many adaptations to even the nature around us where you won't know there's a natural tree or it's not a natural tree because it's all the same thing anyway. And kids are born in a metaverse and they don't even know they're in a metaverse anymore. And then they ask the questions we ask, are we in the Matrix? Then we ask them, are we in the metaverse?
I see.
That's the future I think is likely to happen because we're already beginning to modify ourselves, right? And using technology like the metaverse to add layers to our reality. And what happens is it gets more optimized in a way where it becomes invisible. So when technology is so good, it becomes invisible. You don't really notice it's there. But Wi-Fi just works, right? Electricity just works. You don't think about it. Cables, it's just there. It works.
I see what you're saying. It's like it makes sense that we'll grow our capacity to just understand the world differently and maybe experience the world differently, partly real and partly digital, and maybe all digital and not like, and I understand what you're saying. I'm just